Ensures the highest quality Ross 308 chicken. Ensure the temperature remains. Look at this golden river of chicken.
Day-old Ross 308 chicks arrive in climate-controlled transport vehicles, their golden down feathers soft as silk against pristine white containers. Inside the Biosecure hatchery, automated systems gently transfer thousands of peeping chicks onto conveyor belts, moving toward their new homes. Precisely heated brooding houses welcome the fluffy arrivals, maintaining perfect temperatures while fresh air circulation systems hum with steady rhythm. Specialized feed formulations pour into automated dispensers, each grain carefully selected for optimal protein content and essential nutrient density profiles. Young chickens peck eagerly at their scientifically balanced starter, feed their beaks, creating soft tapping sounds across the feeding stations. Crystal clear water flows through nipple drinker systems, ensuring constant hydration while maintaining the highest standards of sanitary conditions throughout. Automated lighting systems gradually adjust throughout each day, mimicking natural sunrise and sunset patterns for optimal growth hormone production. Weekly weight monitoring reveals steady growth patterns as birds develop their characteristic white plumage and robust muscular frame structure. Climate control sensors continuously adjust temperature and humidity levels, creating the perfect environment for healthy development and consistent weight gain. Veterinary specialists conduct routine health inspections, their trained eyes scanning for signs of optimal feather condition and active behavior. At 3 weeks old, growing birds transition to grower feed formulations enriched with essential amino acids and digestive enzymes. Automated ventilation systems exchange air 20 times hourly, removing moisture while delivering fresh oxygen throughout the growing houses consistently. Computer monitoring systems track feed consumption rates, water intake levels, and ambient conditions across multiple houses simultaneously in real time. Mature birds display glossy white feathers and well-developed breast muscles, indicating they've reached optimal market weight and condition standards. Specialized catching crews work swiftly through the night, carefully loading market-ready birds into ventilated transport modules for processing. Transport vehicles maintain precise temperature controls during the journey, ensuring bird comfort while meeting strict animal welfare regulations continuously. Upon arrival at processing facilities, birds undergo humane handling procedures following industry-leading animal welfare protocols and certification standards carefully. State-of-the-art processing equipment operates with surgical precision, maintaining cold chain integrity while maximizing product quality and food safety. Quality control inspectors examine every carcass for grade standards, ensuring only premium products continue through the packaging production line. Fresh chicken portions glide along stainless steel conveyors toward automated packaging stations, where modified atmosphere technology preserves ultimate freshness. Precision cutting equipment portions fresh chicken into uniform pieces while maintaining optimal temperature throughout the entire production process consistently. Skilled technicians in white sanitary gear inspect each portion for quality standards, removing any imperfections with practiced surgical precision. Modified atmosphere packaging machines seal fresh chicken portions in protective films, extending shelf life while preserving natural texture perfectly. Automated weighing systems verify each package meets exact specifications before applying date codes and nutritional information labels systematically throughout. Quality assurance teams conduct random sampling tests, checking for tenderness, color, consistency, and overall product excellence at multiple checkpoints. Rapid cooling tunnels bring packaged products to optimal storage temperatures within minutes, locking in freshness and natural meat quality. Robotic palletizing systems stack finished packages into refrigerated shipping containers, preparing them for distribution to retail locations nationwide today. Temperature-controlled trucks depart loading docks, carrying fresh Ross 308 chicken products to supermarkets, restaurants, and food service operations everywhere. From farm to table in 72 hours, this remarkable journey ensures premium quality chicken reaches consumers at peak freshness. The Ross 308 breeding program continues advancing poultry science, delivering sustainable protein solutions for our growing global population's needs.
Welcome to the stainless cathedral of flavor, where the world's most iconic poultry begins its glorious journey from simple farm to the golden crisp bucket. Before the heat transforms them, these cuts arrive fresh, inspected by experts in white suits who ensure only the finest pieces make the cut. The air is chilled and sterile, yet anticipation hangs heavy as we witness the raw canvas that will soon hold the Colonel's secret legacy. Quality control is paramount here, with every drumstick and breast meticulously checked for size and symmetry to guarantee that perfect uniform cooking time later. Cold water rinses wash away impurities, preparing the skin to bond with the breading, creating that legendary texture we all crave on the palate. Now comes the true magic, the arrival of the silver bags containing the 11 herbs and spices, a mystery protected by vault and key. Workers in pristine uniforms handled the seasoning with reverence, knowing this aromatic dust is the soul of the recipe that conquered the entire globe. We move to the tumbling station where the chicken meets a saline marinade, a crucial step to lock in moisture deep within the fibers. The stainless drums rotate with a hypnotic rhythm, massaging the meat until it becomes tender, plump, and ready to absorb every ounce of flavor. It is a silent ballet of industrial efficiency where cold steel meets organic ingredients to create a foundation for the crunch that defines generations. Inspection lights gleam off the wet surface of the marinated poultry, highlighting the freshness that distinguishes this process from any standard fast food operation. The sensory experience begins to shift now as the faint scent of black pepper and savory herbs starts to drift through the sterile hall. Hand breading stations are prepped with precision mounds of soft white flour waiting to be mixed with the proprietary spice blend for the coating phase. It is not just about coating the meat. It is about creating a chaotic, craggy surface area that will trap oil and create crunch. The team approaches the breading tables with focus, their gloved hands ready to execute the specific 7-10-7 folding technique required for authentic texture. We watch the flour rise like a cloud as the spices are folded in, turning the white powder into a fragrant, off-white landscape. Every grain of flour must be coated in the spice mixture to ensure that every single bite packs the exact same punch of flavor. The chicken is lifted from the marinade, dripping just enough liquid to help the seasoned flour adhere without creating a heavy or soggy batter. This is where science meets culinary art, balancing moisture and dry ingredients to form the flaky crust that will turn golden brown in oil. Each piece is tossed 7 times, pressed 10 times, and tossed 7 times again. A rhythmic ritual that mimics the original handmade kitchen process. The pieces are lifted and shaken gently to remove loose flour, ensuring the breading is even and won't burn or clump during the fry. They are laid out on stainless steel racks, skin side up, looking pale and ghostly now, but destined for a transformation of color and texture. We approach the pressure fryers, the industrial hearts of the operation, standing ready to apply heat and pressure to seal in the natural juices. The heavy racks are lowered into the hot oil, triggering an immediate and violent sizzle as the moisture in the skin meets the intense heat. The lid is clamped down tight, trapping the steam inside to raise the boiling point of water and cook the meat faster without drying. Inside the sealed chamber, the aroma intensifies, penetrating deep into the meat, while the crust hardens into that signature shell we all know well. This method allows the chicken to cook through to the bone while keeping the exterior from burning, a delicate balance of physics and flavor. Minutes tick by on the digital timers while workers prepare the next batch, a continuous cycle of breading and frying that never slows down. A buzzer sounds, signaling the release of pressure, venting a plume of savory steam that fills the room with the scent of cooked poultry. The lid is lifted to reveal the transformation, the pale coating, now a deep, rugged golden brown that glistens with hot oil and promise. Racks are hoisted up to drain the excess oil dripping away, to leave behind a surface that is dry, crisp, and incredibly hot to touch. Quality assurance inspectors step in immediately, eyes scanning for any dark spots or broken crust that would disqualify a piece from reaching the customer. A metal probe pierces the thickest part of the breast, confirming the internal temperature has reached the safety zone without overcooking the tender fibers. The golden treasure is tipped into warming trays, maintaining that critical temperature where the juices settle and the flavor profile reaches its absolute peak. You can hear the subtle crackle of the cooling crust, a sound that signifies the perfect marriage of fat, flour, and protein structure alignment. On a parallel line, the spicy marinade brings a reddish hue to the process, injecting heat directly into the muscle for a bolder experience. For the extra crispy lovers, the chicken takes a second dip in the breading, building a thicker, jagged architecture that shatters upon the bite. These pieces skip the pressure cooker for an open fry, allowing the batter to expand and bloom into a crunchy landscape of savory ridges. Both styles converge at the packing station, a golden river of protein flowing toward the final assembly where human hands organize the chaos. The volume is staggering, yet each individual piece receives the same attention to detail, ensuring that consistency remains the hallmark of this global brand. While the chicken rests, the kitchen shifts focus to the legendary sides that have become just as famous as the main protein event. Huge stainless mixers begin to churn, blending potatoes into a creamy, fluffy consistency that provides the perfect, smooth counterpoint to the crunchy chicken. Steam rises from the vats as the mixture is heated, ensuring every scoop served later will be piping hot and incredibly smooth on the tongue. But the true companion is the gravy, a rich brown liquid gold born from the savory, crackling drippings collected from the bottom of the fryers. It is thickened and seasoned with black pepper, creating a savory sauce that binds the meal together with an intense, meaty umami depth. Nearby the bakery section is a flurry of activity as buttermilk dough is rolled out to create the flaky golden biscuits we adore. HOWITSBORN. Cutters stamp out perfect circles from the soft dough, which are arranged on trays with just enough space to rise high in the oven. The oven heat activates the leavening agents, causing the layers to expand and separate into a buttery, steaming architecture of soft bread perfection. As they emerge golden brown, they are brushed immediately with melted margarine glistening under the lights and smelling of warm yeast and comfort. Quality control tasters randomly sample the sides, checking the viscosity of the gravy and the fluffiness of the potatoes against strict brand standards. Back on the main line, the buckets arrive in tall stacks, the iconic red and white stripes signaling a promise of a feast. Gloved hands move with practiced speed, placing the largest pieces at the bottom to build a stable foundation for the wings and legs. It is a game of culinary Tetris, ensuring the lid closes securely while maximizing the amount of golden crunch packed into every single container. The steam from the hot chicken is managed carefully, as too much trapped moisture could soften the crust before it reaches the dinner table. Ventilated lids are snapped into place, allowing just enough airflow to keep the skin crispy while retaining the heat within the cardboard walls. Individual boxes are assembled for smaller meals, pairing a drumstick and a thigh with a scoop of mash and a warm buttery biscuit. The speed of the line increases as the lunch rush approaches, a synchronized dance of scooping tongs and closing boxes without missing a beat. Conveyor belts carry the finished packages toward the distribution area, a parade of packaged comfort food ready to be dispatched to hungry customers. Every label is checked for accuracy, ensuring that the spicy orders are separated from the original recipe to prevent any surprises upon delivery. The aroma in this packing room is overwhelming, a heavy blanket of fried, savory goodness that signals the successful completion of the cooking cycle. Behind the scenes, the logistics team tracks every batch, monitoring hold times to ensure no chicken sits longer than the allowed fresh window. Any product that exceeds the strict time limit is immediately discarded, a costly but necessary sacrifice to maintain the integrity of the brand's reputation. Sanitation crews constantly patrol the floor, wiping down surfaces and sanitizing tools to keep this high-speed environment operating at surgical levels of cleanliness. We look at the oil filtration system's complex machines that constantly polish the cooking medium to remove carbon and extend the life of flavor. Clear, clean oil is the secret to a grease-free finish, allowing the taste of the herbs and the chicken to shine through brightly. For the delivery orders, thermal bags wait in rows, ready to cocoon the buckets and insulation to survive the journey through city traffic. Drivers arrive in waves, collecting the sealed bags that fill their vehicles with the intoxicating scent that makes heads turn on every street corner. It is remarkable to think this exact process is replicated thousands of times daily, a synchronized global effort of frying and packing delicious poultry. In the sensory lab, the master taster selects a random drumstick from the line, cracking the crust to inspect the steam and structure. The skin must separate cleanly from the meat, offering that audible crunch before dissolving into the savory blend of fat and secret spice mix. The white meat inside is inspected for moisture retention, ensuring the pressure frying locked in the juice rather than drying out the muscle fibers. Even the bone is examined for heat penetration, verifying that the marrow has cooked sufficiently without turning dark or affecting the surrounding meat aesthetic. The flavor profile is analyzed against the master curve, checking for the subtle notes of sage, garlic, and pepper that define the original recipe. A nod from the master taster signals the line can continue running, validating the work of the cooks and the calibration of the machines. As the shift changes, the breakdown begins, a massive operation to scrub the fryers and filter systems before the next heavy rush begins. Fresh trucks arrive at the loading dock, restocking the massive walk-in coolers with crates of raw poultry to fuel the fires for tomorrow. The cycle is relentless, a continuous loop of supply and demand driven by the world's insatiable appetite for this specific style of fried chicken. It relies on the invisible skill of the breaders, whose wrists have memorized the motion required to coat millions of pieces over their careers. Modern sensors monitor the air quality and temperature, ensuring the environment remains perfectly suited for food safety while keeping the workers comfortable and focused. This facility is a well-oiled machine in every sense, balancing the organic unpredictability of food with the rigid demands of industrial-scale production standards. Moving to the sandwich line, the breast fillets are marinated in a separate tumbler to ensure the spicy kick permeates every single bite. These cuts require a coarser breading texture to maintain their crunch, even when smothered in mayonnaise and trapped between soft, warm sesame buns. Assembly is rapid, with workers stacking crisp lettuce and tangy sauce atop the golden fillet, creating a vertical tower of contrasting temperatures and textures. The foil wrappers are folded with origami precision, designed to reflect heat back into the sandwich, so the cheese melts just as it arrives. Nearby, the smaller fryers handle the hot wings where the breading is thinner, but the spice level is significantly amplified for a fiery finish. Once fried, they are tossed in metal bowls, coating every crevice in a glaze that smells of vinegar, cayenne, and pure addictive heat. We see the bite-sized popcorn chicken tumbling through the breading small pearls of protein that offer a maximum surface area for the crunchy coating. They cook in seconds, floating to the surface of the oil like golden buoys, signaling they are light, airy, and ready for the scoop. The science of heat retention is critical here, as holding cabinets maintain a humid environment to prevent the meat from becoming dry or stringy. Digital screens overhead track the lifespan of every tray, flashing red warnings when a product is approaching the end of its prime quality window. There is no compromise in this sterile environment. If the timer
Because when it
expires, the
comes to
product is
quality,
removed, ensuring
there
no
are
customer ever tastes a
absolutely
stale
no
bite.
compromise.
The sheer density of savory aromas in this room is enough to stimulate the salivary glands of anyone lucky enough to walk the floor. Large catering orders are assembled in reinforced boxes lined with thermal foil to act as a portable oven during the transit to the event. It is fascinating that this specific golden hue is recognized instantly across borders. A universal visual language of comfort food that needs no translation. Technicians constantly test the free fatty acids in the oil, a chemical marker that determines exactly when the shortening must be changed for purity. At the dispatch window, the bags are handed over the weight of the bucket, confirming the generous portion of protein packed inside the container. We can imagine the moment the lid is removed, the steam escaping to fill the car or dining room with that unmistakable fried promise. The first bite reveals the architecture we built, the shatter of the crust, the steam of the meat, and the rush of savory juice. Even the clean white bone left behind is a testament to the cooking process, stripped clean of meat that was tender enough to fall. Back on the line, the process resets a continuous loop of flour, spice, and heat that feeds a hunger that never seems to fade. The leftover flour is sifted constantly to remove clumps, ensuring the fine powder remains pure and effective for the next batch of chicken entering. The spent oil is collected in massive tanks to be recycled into biodiesel, closing the loop on the energy used to create this food. As a station closes, the stainless steel is scrubbed until it shines like a mirror, ready to reflect the morning sun of the next day. But in this facility, the lights rarely dim completely as the prep team arrives to marinate the massive volume needed for the weekend rush. Inside the deep freeze, the temperature drops far below zero, preserving the integrity of the spicy wings until they are summoned to the fryer. It is a testament to the standardization that a drumstick eaten here tastes identical to one enjoyed on the other side of the planet today. The legacy of the white suit and the black tie lives on in every single piece that travels down this gleaming silver conveyor belt. We focus again on that texture, the jagged landscape of the crust that holds the oil and delivers that loud, satisfying, audible crunch sound. The heat radiating from the finished product is palpable, a warmth that promises comfort and satisfaction to anyone holding that paper bucket in hand. Even the wet wipes are packed with precision, a small but necessary detail to clean the savory grease from fingers after the feast ends. Under the warm heat lamps, the chicken glows with an amber hue, a visual beacon that triggers a primal hunger in the human brain. There is a quiet pride in the eyes of the cooks who execute this recipe, knowing they are feeding thousands with their skilled hands. The hum of the ventilation and the bubble of the fryers create a white noise that signals productivity and the creation of delicious food. It is the contrast that defines it, the impossible crunch on the outside yielding to the steaming, tender, savory meat hidden deep within. The black pepper specks are visible on the crust, little islands of flavor that burst on the tongue to cut through the rich fat. We watch the final box being taped shut, a seal of quality that guarantees the contents have passed every rigorous test along the line. It moves to the loading bay where the cool night air meets the warm scent of the kitchen, creating a fog of savory steam. This is not just cooking. It is culinary engineering at a massive scale, delivering a handcrafted experience through the lens of industrial efficiency. The spirit of the original kitchen remains alive here, amplified by technology, but rooted in the simple principle of doing the chicken the right way. As the final batch of the shift is lifted from the oil, the golden color signals the successful end of another day of production. The last pieces sit under the heat lamp, glowing like embers, a final testament to the rigorous standards upheld within these steel walls today. We have witnessed the transformation of raw ingredients into a global icon, a journey defined by pressure heat and the mystery of 11 herbs. Trucks pull away from the loading docks, carrying the savory cargo into the night, destined to bring warmth to family tables across the city. The exact ratios of the spice blend remain a ghost in the machine, known only to a select few but enjoyed by millions everywhere. It is the specific interplay of soft flour and hot oil that creates that ragged, crunchy terrain which no other recipe can quite duplicate. Even as the machine's power down for cleaning, the air remains thick with the scent of toasted spices and savory chicken fat in memory. In this sterile, cold environment of stainless steel and white suits, we manufacture a product that is the very definition of warm home-cooked comfort. Every bucket represents a promise kept, a guarantee of that finger-licking finish that has transcended borders to become a universal language of delicious food. When the meal is done, only the clean bones remain stripped of their breading and meat, the final evidence of a perfectly cooked protein. From this single facility, thousands of cravings are satisfied, a massive logistical triumph that hinges on the simple act of breading chicken by hand. The genius lies not just in the flavor, but in the consistency, ensuring the memory of the taste matches the reality of the bite. The vats of oil cool down, slowly resting before they are fired up again to turn the next shipment of raw cuts into gold. The workers strip off their gloves and hairnets, their shift complete, leaving behind a facility that is spotless, sanitized, and ready for the morning. Tomorrow, the flour will fly again. The pressure cookers will hiss with steam, and the aroma of the Colonel's recipe will fill the air. That golden crust is more than just batter. It is a barrier that locks in the soul of the chicken until the very end. As the final truck disappears into the distance, the production line stands silent, a sleeping giant of culinary industry waiting to be awakened again. It leaves us thinking about that first bite, the crunch, the steam, and the savory rush that makes this process worth every complex step. This is high-speed cuisine, but it is crafted with a slowness and attention to detail that defies the typical definition of modern fast food. The bucket remains an icon, a cylinder of happiness that holds the result of science, agriculture, and culinary art in one red and white package. Here in the factory, the secret remains safe. The chicken remains crisp, and the legacy continues, one golden, delicious piece at a very tasty time.